Hello, fellow survivors. Today we're doing something completely different. We're going back in time, 20 years or more back in time, to World of Warcraft Classic. Why? Because of therapy, because of psychology, because of nostalgia, because of reliving a relaxed path back in time when I was unburdened by burdens and things were a lot simpler and you had time for the grind. So we're here in World of Warcraft Classic, and I'm going to be using this as a little revisit to the past to take things slow and just not stress about things. Sometimes life can be really hard. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of stuff on our minds, and sometimes we look back at a time that was simpler, and this is one of those. And I wanted to go back because when I think about World of Warcraft, particularly the old World of Warcraft, which I have played since it was released, what I remember the most is not killing Ragnaros or Onyxia or the expansion packs or anything like that. What I remember is that feeling of walking around in a massive world, and in particular what I remember is the music of Ashenvale. I really miss just going around in the forest where things were slow. It was a grind to forever to level up. You had this really nice atmosphere. I want to revisit that. There are a lot of studies. Yes, you can use video games as therapy. You can use it to improve socialization. You can use it to learn all sorts of skills. If you are new to this channel, I am a psychology professor by trade, and I specialize in gaming psychology. So we're here today to self-apply some therapy. So if you'd like to join me for this casual ride, we're going to start on our quest to Ashenvale. We're not here to play the game again, in the sense that I'm going to commit a lot of time to it, to grind level 60, max everything out, do Ragnaros, whatever. No. My goal for this is to just play and get to Ashenvale, which is like a level 20 zone or something. That's the goal here. That's all I want to do. Get to Ashenvale. We're going to do that. And let's just go into a server. So this is, I'm not too bothered about server type. And I don't even know what server I ended up on. I think I ended up in a PvP server. I don't really care. Now, part of me kind of want to do human and warlock, just because I loved playing warlock back in the day. That was my favorite class. And do a warlock and then walk all the way to Teldrassil, the Elven area, and play there, but I'm not sure we'll do that. I think we'll instead do the same thing I did when I first started playing the game. The very first character I played was a rogue, but the first character I played that was a main character was a warrior. So we're going to do that again. So we're going to be a male warrior. I'm not too bothered about how the character looks. It can be whatever, face, sure, that one, why not? I'm one of those people that don't want to spend too long. I remember what my character used to look like, and it was pretty much like this. Hair color, I think I did actually have blue. So let's just go for that, I think. We'll go for blue, yeah. Facial hair looks good. Do you have more facial hair? I used to have this beard. I'll go for that. This is kind of like the character I had back in the day. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. So what we're going to do, we're going to spawn in Teldrassil, so it's just very nice elven music. We're just going to take it slow and use World of Warcraft as a therapy to just take a break from life and enter a virtual one instead. The name of my character back when I played this in 2004, was it? Or I can't remember when it came out. It was actually Sakna. Let's just see if that actually works. Is that available? It is available. Amazing. Now this is classic, like proper classic, as in it's not seasonal discovery. It's not like the modern version of it. It's proper the old classic. And so there won't be any like new expansions or whatever, or even improved graphic. It's just the old game. And you know what? That's fine. I don't care. Let's hop in and play this. Alright, here we are. Let's turn tips up. There we are. Gosh. World of Warcraft Classic, isn't that amazing? Now, a couple of things I remember I always enable that we can do right away is the action bars. These ones. I think it's those. Yeah, these ones, that's right. Oh, they still have my old buttons from retail. I have played World of Warcraft from release all the way up to Battle for Azeroth. I think I very briefly, for like maybe a week, played Shadowlands. Effectively, I haven't really played the game since Azeroth. So I'm way behind, but I don't really care about it anymore, if I'm honest. One day we can look back at the account, because there's so much to say about the old account, but for now, we are here in Teldrassil. Going back 20 years, it feels so weird. It also feels really relaxing. Like, I don't really have to do anything, I can just be here. I'm so used to survival games now that are so slow and nothing happens. And you can take your time that I feel I can do the same thing here and just unwind. It's just great. I really like that. By the way, my wife is playing Overwatch in the background. She recently moved her computer to a room closer to my office. So if you do hear someone else talking in the background, that's my wife playing Overwatch. Okay, let's start this.
Peace be with you.
Now, another thing that I remember from the classic is you don't have the quest markers.
Go in peace.
Kill young lightsabers and 4 balls. I feel like it's a little loud. Is it just me? You can always change that a little bit. Let's go in audio and turn it down to 70 maybe. Okay, so on the map, it doesn't show where the quest is. Right now, in this case, it's just literally right here. Young lightsabers where you have to kill. And you can't even track it on the side. You know, like in the modern version of the World of Warcraft, you got it on the side to tell you what to do. And hover over it, it doesn't say this is what you have to kill. It doesn't say where anything is. You just gotta, in some cases, read the quest. You know, back in the day, sometimes you get stuck and you look up a site called Fotbot. Well, but anyway, this is auto. Okay, so we don't have to charge anything. Let's begin. Oh yes, the sword skill as well. I forgot we had swords, defense skills, and all sorts of stuff. Oh, you look at that. Then we gotta learn a skill too. All this crap. Is that actually something? The B is it right? Hey, look. Put this on. You got something, right? Okay. Hi to you, Terrandrella. How are you doing today? Well, I hope. Excuse me, I have to kill some balls. Oh, I wonder if I can change the social. Okay. Let's just keep going. We're just gonna have fun here. And look, I don't know. Okay, now it's tracked. Okay, it does track. Ah, yes, you can track it. Good. Okay, well, I don't mind that. Oh, critical hit. Yeah, by now, you would be like level 50 in the current version of the game. Where's the music? Where did the music go? There it is. That's the music. I think I would like to turn the music up a little bit to 50 and sound down to like 70. Like that. Something like this. Ambience. Go up. See what that's like. Gotta find a balance here. Part of the reason I wanted to do this is just to have the music on. And the reason we're here is because sometimes it's nice to look back. And also sometimes it's nice to be reminded that things weren't always better before. You know, there's this thing called rose-tinted glasses, which is that the past always looks nicer than it necessarily was. You look back at the past and think, oh, things were so great back then. But it wasn't necessarily greater back then. It's just you remember things so fondly, you kind of ignore what happens now. And just think of things fondly back then. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see if we can turn off the social notifications here. Settings. What did I say? Blizzard Whispers. That's fine. What else though? Trade. Honor. No service. I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's that one. Okay. We gotta kill one of these sabers. But yeah, we often think that it was much better in the past, and it wasn't necessarily the case. You know, things were good, but maybe they weren't as good as we think. You know, maybe there's a reason games change over time and improve and they get streamlined. And sometimes we look back and think, you know, oh, it's so much better back then, and you try it and it's not like that. No. And this happened in Overwatch not long ago. They released for a while Overwatch Classic. Hey, level 2. How about that? Where you could play the original Overwatch as it came out. And I tried it and it was terrible. It was like, really, this is how it used to be? It was not good. It really wasn't good. So it's not always, you know, as good as you remember. In psychology, there's this thing called juvenoia. Juvenoia is basically when you say, oh, back in my day, things were so much better. And that's basically when old people say, oh, you know, young people these days, they don't know what they're talking about. Things were so much better back in the day. But it wasn't necessarily better back in the day. The only reason we say that is because we were there back in the day, and we remember it fondly with rose-tinted glasses. The young generation of the day, they were not there back in the day. They don't have that frame of reference. But that's the reason, and this has happened throughout human history. It's not a recent thing. For every generation throughout human history, all old people have said, oh, back in the day it was much better. Young people today don't know anything. And I've transitioned now into another generation. I started playing this game when I was like 20 years old. Or choose, I guess, for taking this one.
Good luck, friend.
This
May the stars
read the same sigil. Okay. And so list.
go in peace. Del Nadris.
And you got 7 Manji Knights and 7 Pistol Balls. Okay.
May the stars guide you.
I don't remember any of these things. Read this. I think that's been read. I think it's up there. So the Thistle Balls. Actually, is that over here? A warrior training Alicia. Okay, we can. That's over here. Then, to be continued. Mention the forest. The Mangina and the Thistle Balls. Okay. Hey, more quests.
I am listening.
I saw her. Seek out Tarandrel. I saw her. She was over there. And the warrior train, is that around here? I assume it's around here. Conversation to be continued, by the way. By the way, if it's not obvious already, we're obviously not going to get to Ashenvale in this episode. That's just not happening. This is the beginning of the dungeon. Oh, it does say on the map here. Little sigil. Okay. Hi there.
Good luck, friend.
And now you can train, right? Yeah, look at that. Little shout. I remember I used to have that one on, like, yeah. Okay. So another quest over here. And there was also one back where I was. Yeah, this is slow paced. Slow paced, wow. Slow paced, just enjoy the music and take it really slow, to be honest. It's weird to think there's a quest for me now to just get to Ashenvale. Probably will take like 20 hours, right? As opposed to retail version. I'm dying. Cave to the north. Spiders. Find Iveron. Okay. Young Night Sabers. Young Night Sabers. Okay. We'll venture into the forest later. Let's go over here. Right. Okay. Let's just see what this... I think this person over here will say, like, go and kill goblins or whatever. Let me just do this and I'll continue my train of thought. If you are watching this, then hope you're having a relaxing day too. And just taking things easy.
Is there trouble?
Oh, you found me. Yeah, that was very hard.
What is nature's call?
Collect 8 fell moss from the Grail King. I thought that would happen. It's these guys. But yeah, we will always look back at the past thinking it was better, but it's not necessarily the case. If you didn't know, like, at the beginning of video game research, like when video games were researched psychologically, which is about early 2000s, so about 20, 25 years ago. I mean, it was researched before that, of course, but what I'm saying is that when it was, like, sort of seriously researched, a lot of the early research on video game psychology suggested that video games made people violent. And it was a whole thing. And parents were concerned, you know, okay, my son is playing a shooting game and he's going to become more aggressive and this and that. It turns out that that's not true. For one thing, that's a correlation issue where you got to ask yourself, well, is it the video games make you violent, or is it violent people like playing video games? So that's one thing. But the main thing is actually that a lot of the early research on video games were made by older people, conducted rather by older people, who didn't play video games themselves. So to them, video games was this new weird thing that young people did. Because of juvenoia, and like things were better in my day, when we didn't have video games, and they were biased. So it was like in their interest, so to speak, to find out that video games were bad for you. A lot of research in the early 2000s suggested that video games were bad for you. But then there were a bunch of researchers that came in the late 2000s and 2010s that disproved all of this stuff. Chris Ferguson is probably the biggest research in that. A lot of different researchers show that actually video games do not make you violent. It really doesn't. If you look at what causes violence in children, the main culprit is observing violence in the home or experience violence in the home. A video game doesn't matter. Also, most violence connected to video games comes from boys who are violent, more violent than girls, regardless of whether they play video games or not. And there's a whole thing there. My favorite study, though, has got to be, there was a study that looked at crimes committed, there's assault cases and homicides, and it found that whenever a violent video game is released, like GTA or Call of Duty, violent crimes go down for a period. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that video games reduce violent behavior. It could mean that whenever a violent video game comes out, then all the violent offenders are busy playing video games instead. But regardless, no matter what interpretation you use, it doesn't really give any credence to the claim that video games make you violent. But the reason I brought this up was that video games initially had a lot of dodgy research suggesting that it made you violent, but it's just not true. Today, it's not that it has zero impact on violence, like it has no impact at all. It's rather that it has very little impact. It's significantly less impact than other variables. Today, there's a plethora of research that shows all sorts of benefits to video games. You can learn hand-eye coordination, you can learn team building, management, two very big components in video game research today is language and mathematics. So a lot of video games show that you can use. Sorry, a lot of research shows that video games can be used to learn a language, particularly English. Because especially if the game has a lot of words in it, like you're not going to learn English that well playing Call of Duty, but you are going to learn English really well playing World of Warcraft or Skyrim. Yeah. There's also a big component with the budget and mathematics and logic, because a lot of video games have some sort of financial component to it. Budgets and that sort of stuff. Sims has like a plethora of benefits, so does Minecraft as well. There's a lot of video games that have profound psychological benefits, especially among older people. Older people who play video games have a significantly higher cognitive function than those who don't. Yeah, I know a lot about this stuff, but we're not really here to talk about that specifically. I'm just trying to set the context of why I thought I'd do this. Because for me, it's kind of like self-therapy. Now, is old World of Warcraft better than the current one? Probably not. There's a reason things have been upgraded. I do like certain things to the new ones. Pets, queues for battlegrounds. Yeah, it is more streamlined. But there was this feeling in the old version that doesn't exist in the newer version, where you took your time more. Like by now, I would have finished with this area if it was retail. Because you also spawn with a bunch of gadgets. You can spawn with legacy items and what have you. You know, all this stuff. And things just get out of hand and things go faster than it needs to be. There's no sort of time. You don't take your time anymore. You don't get immersed in the world. It's just something you have to go through. It's like in retail, it's like the world's in your way. You just gotta get through everywhere just to get the reward on the other side. In current World of Warcraft, you're not really playing in the world itself. You're just getting through the world. So the world isn't really, you know, it's not something for you to live in. You don't get to experience the world and be part of it. But in Classic you did. And that's why I want to do this. In many respects, this video and a potential sequel is in many ways a vlog. Because it's just me talking about my life and why I'm doing this. Now, those of you who are regulars to my channel and watch most of my videos, you know I play World of Warcraft. Sorry, I play The Long Dark first and foremost and other survival games. And it's important to know that, of course, World of Warcraft... Oh god, I'm muddling on my words. It's important to know that The Long Dark is, of course, a source of relaxation for me. And the survival games, in particular, Long Dark, is a source of relaxation for me. Because it's such a slow game. You can do whatever you want with the game. You can just take your time in it, play it however you want. And provided you have the opportunity to be in the world, take your time to play it, you can really immerse yourself in the Long Dark and create a world of your own and just take your time and be at peace in Great Bear Island. And I kind of wondered if you could apply that to World of Warcraft Classic. Not retail, it's not going to work. But in Classic, could you do that? Could you play World of Warcraft Classic and be part of the world? To feel like you're a small cog in a very large world to be explored. Where it generally feels like starting out as a very small player like this, going around, killing spiders in a cave. Is that something that you can, sustain? Is there really a slow quest from this to the end? And can you feel like the world you inhabit is somewhere you belong and feel at home in? Or is the world something you'll plow through to get to the other side? Inconvenience. So this is an experiment, a social experiment in many regards. Because, yeah. I want to see how I feel being in this world. Use it as a type of therapy, basically. Okay. I'm going to use one of these healing herbs. Oh, okay. Never mind that. Let's just get this spider out of the way. Let's try not to die. I'm not going to play hardcore, by the way. Look at all this crap I'm collecting. And I haven't even checked if any of this stuff is better than... Looks like it is. Cloak. Getting all this junk. But it's good junk, as it were. I have no idea what this quest thing is, by the way. I have no idea. We'll figure it out. Is it up there, maybe? This woman's looking for a friend, right? Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. This is going to be like a one-off. Is this going to be a one-off episode, or is it going to be more? I don't see anything up there. I don't know which way to go, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, another reason I wanted to just do this is because I wanted to just take a break from other things. Because lately, you know, life has been kind of hard. Not a bad way as such, I suppose, but there's a lot going on. You know, when you have 2 children, which is still a new experience for me, it's extremely rewarding, and I love my children. I think they are amazing, and I can't imagine being without them. It's just incredible to watch them grow, and they bring me so much joy. But regardless of how much joy they bring you, it's still hard. Because, especially, you know, we have a baby, and the baby is too young to be in nursery, so you have to be at home with the baby and that sort of thing. You don't have any breaks. It's constant, right? And then lately the baby is teething, so she wakes up a lot at night. So sleep is lacking. You know, sleeping 5 hours is good, you know, if that happens. Sleeping 6 hours is a luxury. Sleeping 7 hours doesn't happen. I remember with my firstborn, oh, how much armor does that give? It's better, actually. Why can't I just equip it? Fine, get rid of the bug eye. So, rubbish stuff anyway, right? With my first one, I remember also thinking that, like, it was really hard. But eventually, you know, he grew older, became more independent, he would go to nursery. And I remember one day, I don't remember exactly how old my son was, but one day I remember waking up in the morning and I thought to myself, wow, I just slept 7 hours straight. I can't remember the last time that happened. And then things got easier from there. But then, of course, we got another baby. But eventually she'll grow up too, and she'll get older, and she'll go to nursery, and you'll sleep better. So things will get easier. So again, just because things are hard doesn't mean they're not rewarding. I do enjoy my days with my children very much. But it's also hard because we have no social help. Like, we have no family here, no social network, so we have no one to help us. Like, we don't have... Like, a lot of families have, like, their grandmother come in, or, you know, a relative or someone. Someone comes in and helps out with the children. We don't have any of that. We do everything ourselves. So it's very hard in that regard. And, of course, we got work as well, and YouTube is now technically another job. Well, okay. Is this... I don't know, am I supposed to kill this spider? I guess so. I suppose so. Where is this guy I'm supposed to find? Conversation to be continued. 18 for the belt. That's better. Shame I can't just equip it. What can I get rid of? Bug Eye. It's a sells for, but who cares? I have a feeling you're supposed to break these. Am I wrong? Is this for a different quest? Where am I supposed to get this guy? Wasn't there a quest like to find a good friend, right? Find Iveron in the cave. Is this, I presume this is the cave, right? Sure, you know. Where is he? I don't know. I bet you I'm gonna come back here and kill this spider again. It's alright though. But yeah, in addition to family, of course, you know, you got work, and work can be very demanding. And then YouTube is a hobby, but in some respects it's also a job, because you have to maintain a schedule so that your audience stays entertained. You got to come up with solutions, and then there's admin to do, like you know, when you make a video, you got to make the thumbnail and description and chapters and some editing. You gotta then, you know, you got your Discord and your Patreon, Twitch, all sorts of stuff. So, you know, it becomes a lot to follow up on. So it in many ways feels like a second job, which effectively it is. Where is this guy? Like, where am I supposed to go? I don't get it. Is it over here? This is when you would look things up on Thoughtbot. And I bet you some of you are screaming at the screen now. No, he's not there. You're doing it wrong. He's somewhere else. That's okay. That's part of the experience here. Okay, he's not here either. Is it the bones? I'm supposed to click the bones. Oh, he was here, but he's dead. I've been all over the cave now, I think. Where haven't I been? I feel like I've been everywhere. There's nothing really to click on either, is there? So I feel like I don't know what to do exactly. But yes, that's why I thought, let's actually do this. Instead of making a World of Warcraft, instead of making oh, there's a chest. Ooh, get that. Instead of making a Long Dark video, let's make a World of Warcraft video. This is something different. Let's just make something that I wanted to try, just to see how I feel playing this game. Feel doing it. And see how that works out. And how is it different from the Long Dark? Will people want to watch this or no? You want to see me struggle in a spider cave trying to find something? You know. Let's just... wait a minute. Before I do that. Get rid of something. That one and... I don't know. Crude boots, sure. Where is this guy though? Like, where am I supposed to say? I can't find anything about this guy. Alright, okay. I mean, we can pick this stuff up, but I don't think it's... I should compare. Yeah, okay, it's worse. I don't know where this guy is. Like, where haven't I been? Can I herp out of here? Yeah, I can. But where am I, actually? Like, where am I supposed to go? Let's just get out of here. I feel like I've been everywhere now. It's maybe like one place. Let's just resituate ourselves a little bit. So I went there. I haven't been over there, but I didn't see anything either. Is he down there? Where is this guy? I'll stop stunning me. I just want to get out of here. Where is this guy? Oh, is he over here? Vaguely remember that he isn't actually in the cave. There he is. Wow. That's like the world's longest detour. Once I saw this little alley thing, I was like, wait a minute. I remember this from the old days. Let me guess. Oh no, we're just going back.
Be careful.
But she was going to say, like, you know, I need to kill more boars and night save or something. thought they were going to send me into the cave, but I bet they'll do that again, though. But you see, that's the experience, though. I didn't know what this guy was. I played this game, but, you know, it's so long ago, I couldn't remember where this guy was. So I basically cleared out the entire cave. No reason. At least I got some random loot. But yeah. Yeah, things are good, but things are also a little hard, if that makes sense. And I thought I'd just unwind and play this and see how it goes. Having children is amazing. I love it. It's fantastic. It's so rewarding, and I love my children very much. We never disclosed any information about them except for basic stuff. But we thought about maybe making a video where my 2-year-old plays The Long Dark, but you know, no camera though. But yeah, so that's that. And yeah, you know, work can be quite stressful as well. I'm not going to get into work itself though, and what that entails and why it can be difficult, because, you know, it's just, you know, general work stuff. Everyone can be stressed at work because you got too much to do, or things hard days, or overtime, and all sorts of things, you know. So it can be it's one of those added variables that make it can be a tough day, you know. Hard day at work, and then hard work at home, you know, and all that stuff. So yeah, but I will say that work-wise though, like, I am fortunate that I'm in a position where I work very hard to get to where I am, because being a professor, or rather associate professor, which I am, you know, it takes a while to get there. You got to have a PhD for one, and it's quite hard to do a PhD in Norway. It's different than in the US. The US has a different system, but in Norway it's very hard. It's basically a job to do a PhD. But once you finish, you can then become an associate professor. You have to have a PhD for that. And then you basically get tenure automatically. So instead of like in the US where you have to do tenure track and get tenure, in Norway, when you're hired, you just get tenure then, provided it's a permanent position, which usually it is. And I'm in a fortunate position where I actually can research more or less whatever I can within reason, whatever I want rather, because it's an interesting actually little story there, is that, you know, I've been a content creator for a long time, and I made movies before YouTube existed and all that stuff. So I have quite a long, if I had to write a CV for my film history, like filmography, I guess, it would be a really long one. And early in my career, I did actually have quite a large CV that outlined everything I ever did in video games and that sort of stuff. And most employers said, like, yeah, we don't really care about any of that stuff. Put a sentence or two just to say that you did this stuff. But now it's more relevant because I research gaming and I research esports, and it's such a big industry now compared to it used to be. So now everything I used to do is relevant. Movies I made in the past are relevant. Experience I have pre-YouTube is relevant from a technological perspective and a digital history perspective and a narrative perspective. It has implications for sports psychology as well. You know, I'm in contact with a lot of developers. You know, I've done playtesting, and all that stuff is now relevant. Before that was just like a niche thing, but now actually I can. A lot of the stuff that used to be a hobby is now actually work related, which that's a good thing actually. But even though that's a good thing, you know, there's still always a lot of stuff to do. So even though work can be fun, sometimes it can still be stressful. What's this? So I need hyacinth. You can find it growing under trees, or you can correct them from the grell south of here. Oh, okay,
Farewell.
that's fine. Let's go sell some stuff. The trees. I'll figure it out. Let's turn this thing into... Where's this guy? Is that this guy over here? It is this guy over here. Is it just me or does the draw distance like really small? I think I turned that up, didn't I? No, doesn't matter. But yeah, you know, so a lot of stuff happens in life, and you just get through it. But
Greetings.
I guess it's this one. Let's just destroy this bread.
Farewell.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's sell this junk. But yeah, this isn't really the platform for me to complain about things. It's more a platform for me to unwind a little bit. Let's go learn the charge. That's what I want to know. I want to learn the charge mechanics. I can charge at animals. Hey, Zooks. Sell all the junk. Repair. Sell all of this stuff. If it's white, you can use it for crafting, but let's go. We need money to learn skills, which is a whole thing. Alright, let's see. What's this area called? Shadow Glen? It's fine, Shadow Glen.
What brings you here?
Charge! I want that. I want it and rend. Very good. Alright, sweet. So, in my experience, you don't need this auto attack thing. You put charge there instead, and rend can be here. There you go. Very nice. Amazing what comes back to you. Alright, now that we learned how to become a badass warrior with charge, bleeding, assault, let's go collect some mushrooms. That seems like the appropriate thing to do. Oh, by the way, if I suddenly stop like this, and then sit down, and then the world starts fading, it's because the baby woke up. Like, for example, right now. There we are. Exactly that sort of transition. If you see that stuff, it means something happened, like the baby woke up. That's actually another reason to play this game, is to try and forget about it, because when the baby wakes up a lot, kind of hard, because you don't really get to immerse yourself. In the beginning, the baby woke up, like it would sleep throughout the whole evening, and pretty much wake up when we went to bed. But now, because of teething, she just wakes up all the time, so it's hard to play longer than 40 minutes. What was I even doing? Oh yeah, mushrooms, that's it. Let's go get some mushrooms. Let's see what's up. Nice to be somewhere else. Just to see what's up, really. Do something else. I could do this without narrating. I just play without making content. I could do that. I already have a different game for that, which is PUBG. When I play PUBG, I usually don't record. I usually don't make content for it. Partially because I don't think people are particularly interested in it, but also because it's like a little refuge. But yeah, I thought I'd give it a try to see if people wanted to join me in this little journey. Let's see. There were some financial difficulties lately, which I don't have to get into. It got resolved, but it was stressful in the moment, and it happened for Christmas, which, you know, it's a stressful area. Wow, a stressful time, especially with children. It's fun though. It was great fun seeing the children experience Christmas, but it was also very stressful, you know, and stressful but fun, I guess. So instead, just try and forget about things for a while and not just worry about everything all the time. Let's go in a world like this and do something else for a little bit. Charge this goblin Grelkin thing. Get the buff. You guys dropped like mushrooms, yeah, that's it. Also, Ica, that's on the spiders, and Moon Petal, I assume that's in the pond. Let's see here. It's a bit nice actually to just do this, to be honest. Just forget about stuff and go collect some mushrooms that apparently take forever to pick up. It's nice. It's a simpler time. Simpler time without worries. Except for getting mushrooms. Let's see. I assume the lily pad things are here in the water. That would make the most sense. There's a mushroom over there. Let's see. Ah, this must be it. Yeah, that's it. Moon Petal Lily. One thing about YouTube, by the way, that I sometimes get asked is, would I go full-time if I could as a content creator? And, you know, it is somewhat enticing because I do love making content. I love editing. I don't do as much as I should. It's just I don't have much time. But if I could, would I go full-time? Well, it's kind of an interesting idea. I would love to do it, but well, obviously there's the financial side to it that it's not even close to like the income that I get from my job. And also I worked, like I said earlier, I worked really hard to get to this job that I have, and I have tenure, and, you know, a lot of people don't have tenure, so it's something that I shouldn't like give up. You know, I enjoy my job anyway, and there's a lot of benefits to my current job. Like you get to travel to conferences, you have flexible work hours, you get to research what you want, you work with students. There's a lot of nice things about the job. But if I, say, took off and I could financially support myself and the family through YouTube instead, would I do it? I'm not sure, because I don't think so, because I do really like my job too, and how hard I work to get there and everything that the job entails. If I really wanted to, you know, expand the channel more beyond what I do now, it would require quite a lot of time, because you need to do things like social media promotion. You know, you need to put the clips or whatever on like TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff, and make shorts out of your videos, and you need to manage Discord and Patreon, and go on Twitch sometimes. You might need to edit highlights on Twitch. There's a lot of work, you know. And in the beginning of the channel, when the channel was much smaller, I did actually promote with my best videos on Reddit, Hinterland forums, Twitter back then, and Hinterland and Raphael sometimes did actually tweet about my videos, which did gain a lot of traction. But I don't do that stuff that much anymore. So if you want to do, like, really put your, you know, both feet into YouTube, there's a lot of other aspects beyond content creation, like, you know, social media promotion and management, and that takes a lot of time. So if you're going to do all of those things consistently, you kind of have to go full-time or close to full-time. And I don't think I'm going to do that. That's too much work. And I do like my other job. Or my main job, rather. I do really enjoy making content for The Long Dark and other survival games. I think I have a good sort of niche or strategy going. I think it's working quite well. Most people come from Long Dark, but a significant portion come from other things. And you also try different things like Prologue or that sort of stuff. I also really like trying out new games that people send me. So I kind of started this thing where I try out new survival games, especially from small developers who don't have a lot of resources or following. Unless it's just one person making a game and I get to try it out. And then I can make a video about it. And that's a really cool experience, I think. I really like doing that. Just trying out these small survival games and then seeing where it goes. Many of them don't really go that far because they're so small, and they improve them a bit after trying them, and then they end up being released in like a slightly improved version of what I tried. But then you have other ones like Prologue, which is a huge studio, and I joined ever since it was in version 02 or whatever it was, and you get to see the whole journey, you know. I like that. I think I'm fortunate enough to just play survival games and people watch it, particularly The Long Dark. I know a lot of people also watch my channel because they use my voice to fall asleep to, which is fine. And if you're doing that right now, I hope you sleep well. That will be good. So I like to keep doing this. Let's get this quest.
Good luck, friend.
Bring it to everyone before time can be found by the cave too. Yeah. Well, that's
Careful.
timed. I mean, I know where he is. We were there earlier. But I would like to branch out a little bit also. Like, sure, like I could like when I play PUBG, I love PUBG, but I don't make content about it except for the odd thing. And of course, I play Overwatch with my wife. But when I released videos on that in the past, people don't really watch it. My survival PUBG videos was by far my most successful, like, alternative video, where I think that got like 8,000 views, which is pretty good. When in the past, there was one video I worked 6 months on to make. Took a long time. make it, and I was really happy with the results. I think it got 800 views upon release. And I lost 3 subscribers. So people weren't in for that. But you don't have to make content about everything. Not everything has to be content. You gotta make something that's fun. And this is a new one. This is a new experience. World of TherapyCraft. We'll see how that goes. But mostly it's just for myself, and I'm inviting you to be along for the ride. But I do enjoy making survival games and focusing on that. I think that works, and I enjoy it as well. It's fun to play. I like survival games, particularly Long Dark, but also Subnautica, Green Hell, and that sort of thing. And Prologue's pretty good too, for the most part.
What brings you here?
There you go. I guess that one.
Good luck, friend.
Now what? I don't have any quests anymore. I guess we're going back then. That's funny. I don't think I've ever been in that situation before. That's right, though. Let's go back. But I would like to branch out a couple of things. Like, I think the channel will primarily remain as a survival game channel, with the odd video and other games here and there. But I have thought about other things. I have thought about making a second channel where I do film analysis. That's something I always wanted to do because I'm really into movies, and I tend to analyze movies I watch, think about them a lot, reflect on them, look into stuff about them. I really enjoy that, and I quite enjoy watching film analysis as well. Not so much film reviews, but film analysis, like really long ones. And I would love to make some stuff like that. That would be really, really cool. Bring 10 webwoods on the spies in and around the cave. Oh, great. Could have given me that quest before, mate. I don't suppose there's more quests, like in here or something. I'm level 5, I could check the trainer. I've also thought about, if you're watching this and actually listening this far, let me know what you think. But I have thought about maybe making also another channel, which is like Science Zach or Professor Zach, I guess. Because a lot of people are really into, psychology and that sort of thing. And, it'd be interesting to make one day about that, like little videos about different psychology stuff. Could be anything, could be small lectures about a particular thing. Yeah, I don't know. Bystander effect or whatever. Memory. Psychological disorders. I have a really long, what should I say, archive of resources there, because I've been lecturing for over 10 years. I have like hundreds of hours of material. I can't, straight up use those because of some of them are owned by work, although most of it's my intellectual property. I just have to present it differently. But that sort of thing could be done easily as well. It could be all sorts of psychological stuff to present. Some of it could be video games, but it could also be general stuff. Memory, cognition, social psychology, whatever. Is there anything else? I'm just going to check up here just to see if there's a quest up here by chance. I don't think there is. I think this is the last place you go when you end this region. But I'm still going to check because I don't remember. Oh, Druid Trainer's up there. Hunter Trainer. Jumping down will kill me, right? So let's not do that. As I would maybe consider doing that as well. Some guy up there. Nice view. You know what? It is a nice view. Tree within a tree. Let's half back rather than jumping down and dying. Okay, bye. Alright, let's get this venom sac stuff. And I bet when I come back, I'll be like, well, great. Now I want you to go and kill that big spider in the cave. Like, right. This is the old grind, right? ignoring the fact I went to the cave when I didn't have to. You're going there, getting the quest, then you're going back to kill spiders to get the venom, then you're going back to get the venom sacks again, you know, but it's okay. I don't mind. It's fine. Because I thought about trying that sort of stuff. I do actually have a plan to try film analysis. I have a movie that I'd like to analyze that I haven't seen anyone else do very much analysis of. And I have actually written a script. It's not finished, but it is looking to be a very long video. But it's one of those things, like, it's not a priority. So if I have a chance to play, I usually record a video about the Long Dark or something instead. And so I don't know when I realistically will make that video. But, you know, maybe one day. But yeah. I would love to make more content. I like the niche that I'm in. I think it works. I have a very nice community around me. My subscribers are wonderful people. People in my Discord are wonderful people. The mods are amazing. My wife is very supportive. So the YouTube is going great. I like YouTube a lot. I like making content. Even if they weren't successful, I still would enjoy it because I just enjoy the creative process. I really like editing. And I like seeing how things are received. And if they're not well received, then I know not to do that again, or I can try something different, or whatever. Like experimenting. And I also like that people enjoy what I produce for various reasons. So like, a lot of people use my videos to fall asleep to, and I don't mind it at all. I mean, I fall asleep to other people's videos too. And you know, that doesn't bother me in the slightest. It bothers me if my students fall asleep when I lecture. That's not good. But that the viewers do, that's fine. I mean, that means that I'm contributing to good mental health. Isn't that a good thing? So I'm happy with that. This is why I'm not afraid to make things like videos that often aren't well edited. They mostly consist of me talking or narrating. Because I know not everyone watches it, you know. They just listen. And that's fine. That's no problem. So we can see. Right. Buy the stuff. I'm going to the cave a bit. This is kind of nice, actually. I kind of like this. It's kind of low effort. Bit of a grind. Being in an old world of sorts. And there's no rush. Just doing this, really. And unwinding a little bit. Talking about life. Reflecting. And also kind of going back to a simpler time. And when video games weren't about battle passes or the latest cosmetic or the pet you could buy that do taxes. It wasn't about, you know, just maximizing everything. Now everything has to be maximized all the time. Why can't you just play the game for what it is? The thing, like in the Long Dark sometimes, when I play that, I get comments like, oh, you could have done that better. Like, that would have been more efficient if you did it this way or that way. And my response to that is usually like, yeah, well, you're not wrong, necessarily. But you don't have to do it that way, you know. Now, everything has to be optimized. Just because you can do things better doesn't mean you have to. The only exception is speedrunning. I mean, if you're speedrunning, then yeah, okay, sure. If that's the case, if you're speedrunning a game, then you gotta maximize things in order for it to be as efficient as possible. So you can get the best time possible. So that's fine, you know, but other than that, it doesn't really matter. Like, you gotta play a game your way. No one can tell you how to play a game. They can suggest it, and by the way, by that I don't mean don't make comments like that. I welcome all comments on my channel, and sure enough, it happens all the time that someone points out, hey, you know, if you did it this way, you know, that would be a lot easier. And I'd be like, oh, I didn't know you could do it that way. Oh, thanks, you know, and my gameplay improves because of you have pointed something out. So I don't mean don't make suggestions on how to do things better. By all means, in any of my videos, you can say do it this way or that way. I meant more like people in general can play the game, any game, however they want, and I think that's important. What should I get rid of here? Rid this up. Games like The Long Dark or whatever, you just play however you want. Play Pilgrim, play Interloper, play Misery, explore the world, don't explore the world. You know, just do it however you want. There's no right way to play a game. The same thing applies here. In the World of Warcraft, you know, you play whatever class you want, or you know, however you want to do it. Me and my wife used to play this game together, and we used to do raids in guilds. I have some footage of that. Unfortunately, most of my time playing World of Warcraft in the past was before I discovered how to record footage on my screen. So I've been a content creator online for over 20 years. I started making content before YouTube existed. So that was a different era. I made Counter-Strike videos. And those videos were very successful. I got millions of views. Although we didn't go by views back then, we went by downloads because there wasn't a streaming service back then. But I didn't become a YouTuber until much later, until about 2020. Then I sort of actively became a YouTuber around 2022, I guess. Something like that. 3 or 4 years I've been an active YouTuber, I guess you could say. So why was I talking about it? I lost my train of thought. Why was I talking about this? Oh god, I completely lost my train of thought. So why was I talking about that? Gosh, you know what? I completely lost my train of thought. Why was I talking about this? It will come back to me. If not, if it doesn't come back to me, just tell me in the comments. I mean, I'll just check the video, obviously, you know, I'll know. But then the next episode, I'll continue that conversation. That's too funny. Main hand. They're all main hands. Okay. Well, the damage per second is what we want, kind of thing, but I'm going to go for this. Let's just get rid of something. This one. Oh, is this better? No.
Goodbye.
Bring a web egg. Oh, this thing. I told you this would happen. Now you gotta go back there and get the egg. Get that egg for me. Oh dear. Why was that? What was my point in talking about? No, that's the thing. When you go on tangents, you just cover all bases, then that happens. Do they have a weapons trainer here? I can like learn 200 weapons? I don't think so. I think they're all in the big cities.
My goods are of the highest quality.
Sell all this junk. Junk. Getting so much money.
Go in peace.
Go in peace. But yeah, no, I have made content for a long time. Oh, that's why I was talking. Yeah, now I remember. I was talking about recording. You got there. Right. So back in the day when I made content in like the early 2000s, the way you made Counter-Strike movies and stuff like that back then was you used the in-game engine. So you would have like a replay system, like a demo, and then you play the demo later and you use commands in the game to extract frames from the game, which you then converted into a video. So you didn't record your screen. There wasn't a screen capture program available. Eventually one came about, so I have a lifetime subscription to a program called Fraps. Fraps, I bought that like almost 20 years ago, around 2006, 2007. And if you buy it once, you have it for life, no matter how many times they update. But Fraps records your screen lossless, which it creates huge file sizes, which is not wasn't the greatest, especially back then. So other than the old Counter-Strike videos and stuff I made using the in-game systems, I do have some World of Warcraft footage because I used fraps, primarily in vanilla WoW. And I made a video actually about World of Warcraft that was like a PvP video to do with Warlock. It was called Dark Souls, and it won an award on Warcraft movies, which was nice. And then I did record a little bit here and there. Like I recorded a little bit later for some raid footage, I think in Cataclysm and Pandaria. So I have some World of Warcraft footage. I'd never kept the raw footage because it was so large in file size. Today I would have kept it, but back then I didn't. But I have some like sort of low editing videos of different raids and that sort of thing. But it's one of those things, like, in a way, I wish I had discovered how to record and preserve raw footage earlier. Because I have basically well, I haven't played World of Warcraft lately, but let's call it a 10-year-long World of Warcraft experience. That is mostly undocumented video-wise, and it would have been nice to have more footage. I have screenshots, of course, but that's not the same. When we used to raids with me and my wife, I think I had this conversation started, or this monologue started. That was fun. 40-person raids sometimes. And the reason this came out was because you got to play the game the way you want. Now, if you do raids, you can look up guides that tell you how to play the raids, because you can say, okay, to defeat this boss, you got to do it this way or that way. And that's fine, you know, that you do it a certain way. That to defeat this boss, you got to do this, this, and this, because that's the mechanics of the raid boss. So that's fine. But that doesn't mean you have to do necessarily precise builds of your character to defeat it. So there'll be guides saying like, oh, to defeat this boss, the best is if you have this and this talent and this type of weapon and so on and so blah blah blah, and that'll maximize it. And I always thought that was really boring. Those sort of guides were just sort of meant for me as a, well, quite literally a guide to give a clue about what's the best way to go about this. But it wasn't like the one way to do things. And in fact, in I think it was in Pandaria, I think it was Mr. Pandaria, maybe it was what's one after, Draenor. Both me and my wife made our own builds. Like, we looked at guides and stuff, and then I said, well, I think this other build will just work much better. It's not listed anywhere, and I don't see people use it, but I'm gonna make like a, I think it was Storm Elemental Shaman. And in raids that had AoE, like area effects, I just dominated damage. I thought it was so much fun, and I had made that build entirely myself, at least the one I was running. And my wife also, sort of, she just made her own, she was a healing build. And at some point, my wife was top 4 healer in EU. Like, she was really, really good. So it worked, you know, doing it your own way worked. Just create something that you enjoy, and it worked. Now, that doesn't always happen, though. I also play Hearthstone a lot, because Hearthstone I can play on my phone. It's one of those few, I don't play a lot on my phone, but Hearthstone is one of the exceptions. I do play on my phone. Because I can play on my phone while rocking the baby to sleep, or if I take the bus to work, or whatever. So I can play a game here and there, and I've been playing that for 11 years. So I'm very experienced with Hearthstone, and I watch esports and that sort of thing. But in Hearthstone, unless I'm really struggling or really bored, I never really take decks from websites. I just make my own stuff. And every 3 years, I make a deck that is entirely my own, that works like a charm, and it's just really cool to play. But most of the time, it doesn't work out. But I don't care, because it's fun. It's fun to make your own thing, even if it's not a good thing. You don't have to optimize all the time. If I was optimizing all the time, I wouldn't even make this video. I'd just be making more long dark content.
How may I help?
You gotta play things your way. Alright. Finally, I think we have reached the end. Skill in Fury. Skill in Arms. I think now actually going to the top of the tree. Like genuinely going to the top of the tree. Naren's summons. Hello, Sentinel. Thank you for this. Hello, Glenn. The somersaults. That's why we're here. For the somersaults. Of course, wait a minute. I'm missing something here. Racial. Yeah, sure. That one, for example. Like... Ah! I remember in the past, sometimes I've used this. Like if I'm in a fight with someone, and then I manage to run away, and then you use this, and they can't find you. Hello. Build the crystal file. Go to the moon well and return with water. I think I can do that. Can I jump down and do that? Can I land in the water? Or is that too far? I have a feeling it's too far. Uh-oh. Did I try that? I have a feeling this is going to work. It did work. How about that? How about this? I think this will work too. If it would let me go that way. Hey, I want to go this way. Come on. Why can't I? Yeah. It won't let me. Not so much for that. It was a partial shortcut. Okay, that worked. Let's fill this vial. Your Highness. Your Tree Highness. Oh no, it's not this one. This is the lake. They're talking about this moon well up here. I love how the grass moves as I walk through it. That's a nice little touch. This is me. This one? Yeah, that's the one. Cinematic shot. Running through the grass. And the Oscar of cinematography goes to Zach for his one-shot classic footage. The stuff writes itself. Okay. This has been fun. I gotta say I enjoyed this. Now remember, the whole point of this is to get to Ashenvale. I really love the atmosphere of Ashenvale. It's kind of like this, to be honest. It's kind of like the same thing as Ashenvale. There's a load of trees and like there's no sky. It's just foliage. So this is kind of the same. As I said, there's no way we'll get to Ashenvale in this video. I mean, unless you run there, of course. But you know, I think it says on the map. Does it say on the map? Say on the world map. Where's the There's a world map, isn't it? There we are. No, why isn't... Surely, isn't a world map like a proper world map? Missing something here? There we go, thank you. Ashenvale. Does it say? Doesn't say. Okay. No. But yeah, so if this series is to continue, it probably will take a little while. I mean, I'm barely even leaving this region now, and then you got the rest of Teldrassil, and then you got Darkshore. Darkshore is kind of fun too, except for that one Merla quest. You know which one I mean. Deep Ocean. No, Vast Ocean. Deep something. Forgot. Yeah, but it's a nice little journey just to get to Ashenvale and hang around there. This has been fun. It's been rambling about random stuff. Playing a slow game. Not really doing anything specific. Yeah. Thank you. There you go. Much more to be told. Bring the flask to Peripherous Moon Mage in Dolinar. Remember that place. Alright, we're done here now. Isn't that cool? That's cool. I think there's a quest over there, like right there. That's when you leave. And I think you get a quest that basically says go to the innkeeper. There's always a quest to go to the innkeeper. To like bring this letter or whatever. And the only reason those quests exist is for you to find the innkeeper in wherever you are. So that you can get arrested and whatnot.
I am honored.
Let's repair, let's sell. I don't think any of this stuff is better, is it? No. Just sell all this stuff. We don't need any of it. Except for that one, of course.
Goddess watch over you.
Can I train anything? I think I can. Smith. We're not going to buy any of that stuff. Oh, this isn't a rested area, which is interesting. If you log out of the rested area like an innkeeper, there we go. Defense. Gives you a chance to parry. Very good. And thunderclap. Yeah. Good. AoE.
Goddess watch over you.
This is a passive, right? The parry. 4% chance. I remember that was something you had to maximize. That's cool. Thunderclap, I remember, was actually this one here. So we gotta move this. This was actually this one. I'm trying to remember the buttons. Alright, we're done with this area. We are out of here. This has been fun. If you have watched all this way, then I want to say thank you. Thank you for being part of this, because I've never done anything like this before. Just doing something old and slow and just rambling on about life and stuff, woes and what have you. And it's been nice to actually do something different and not have to worry too much about things and just ramble as I go along. You know, it's been cathartic to a certain degree.
What brings you?
Innkeeper, told you.
Good luck, friend.
And there we are. Now we leave the shell again and we're in Teldrassil itself. And that's it. Thanks, Shadow Glen. That was fun. I appreciate that. Now the whole world awaits. And yeah, I should continue this regardless of how this is received. It has been nice to do something different. It took a while, that's fine. I enjoyed it. It's been de-stressing. It worked. It's like a little therapy thing. It's not really worrying about anything at all. Just kind of walking around, doing menial tasks that are pointless. Things are slow. There's a grind. There's no urgency to get level 60, or there's no rush to get to max level, because then you can start doing the dailies and the raids and the weeklies and collect this and collect that and all that crap that forces addiction. So that was the one thing I mentioned earlier, that these days research shows there's a lot of positive sides about video games. There's a lot of skills you can learn by playing video games, but the drawback, the negative side of video games, is when it becomes negatively impactful on anything else. When you play it too much and it impacts your school or your work and that sort of thing, or sleep. And when you have things like battle passes and dailies and weeklies and special events and all this stuff, you gotta make sure you don't miss out. Then it becomes a chore and you feel stressed and you gotta make sure you can do everything. But doing this, that's not gonna happen, because this game is the old game. They're not gonna add anything else. This is the game as it is now. And the content's already there. There's nothing for me to catch up on or miss out on. It just is the game as it is. And you know what? That's been great. I've enjoyed this very much. It's been relaxing. If you watched all this way, thank you again. It mattered a lot that you were here and that you listened to my ramblings. If you'd like to see me continue this journey and be part of more ramblings, let me know. And if you fell asleep to it, I hope you slept well. I think I'm going to go get some sleep myself. I think that would be good. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.